Not cool. Okay, so I'll explain to you why I think there's a problem. So I'm in Black Ops 2 right now, and I have an empty class. So let's say I wanted to make this a support class, and fair enough. So I will do a hammer LMG, which is one of my favorites. I'm not gonna put any attachments on it, so it's just a hammer in here. And then I will put on, let's say, blind eye, and we'll do a wild card here. And we're gonna do flak jacket. So we're gonna be super resilient, cold-blooded as well. We're trying to be as like resistant as possible here. So toughness, because we want to actually win a gunfight. And then we're gonna want engineer. And okay, now we have 2 points left. So I have a gun and 5 perks. Now, here's where the problem is. The gun is naked, so let's put on quick draw and FMJ. Now it's used up all 10 slots. The reason this is a problem is because the game doesn't really value things at different point levels. So everything costs 1 point, which sounds like a good system, but it doesn't make any sense. You see, why does quick draw take up 1 point? And also, so does the FHJ-18 anti-air lock-on launcher. Why do those both take the same amount of points? The game is literally telling you that a red dot is as worthwhile as an AA launcher, when they clearly have 2 different values. You can play without reflex sights, and you can play without foregrip, you can play without ACOG, you can play without dual band, suppressor. I mean, there's some things that I think have a lot of value. Suppressors, of course, always useful. That's actually kind of about it in this game. Like, there's nothing else that I would consider to be necessary. Like, quick draw and suppressor, I'd probably be the best. But do you think, Dylan, that the ability to show enemy equipment in the world, delayed triggered explosives, and re-roll and booby trap care packages is worth the same as a ballistic knife?
I would say that the ballistic knife is far better. Only gods use it.
That's true.
Trying to shit on my idea. How's it feel to shit on your idea? No, you're right.
No, but like that's the thing. Is like I get the idea is that everything costs the same, so the result is what they want. They got the result they wanted for fucking sure, which is that you have to better judge your class. You know, you don't just get everything, and I understand that. But the reason I find this to just be obnoxious, once I've noticed it, is that there are perks, like cannot be detected by enemy UAVs while moving, suppressor, and quick draw. So to have a gun, suppressor, and quick draw, and ghost is 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 10 points. And I only have 6 now. And a launcher is worth the same as a concussion. And the launcher is worth the same as C4. And dead silence is worth the same amount as fast hands. And I just don't quite think that makes sense. I get the idea, and it works to an extent. I'm not saying it's a broken system, but let's pop over. I'm just gonna use this as a kind of like a live recording. I'm gonna pop over to Call of Duty Ghosts and show how they dealt with the system, because they didn't do it perfectly either. I don't think. I think that would be silly to say. But in Call of Duty Ghosts, if you remember, your attachments, your first 2 attachments at least, do not count against the rest of your class. As far as I remember, I'm pretty sure I'm correct about that. I literally made 13 classes in Ghosts the other day, because I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty Ghosts.
I think that's how it works. Yeah, you almost got me to play it the other day.
Was it the Ghost video? Or was it the stream?
Why Ghost would be...
Oh, that was today's video. If Why Ghost would have been amazing.
I guess it would have been today.
Okay, so if I go fetching online profile, which always takes almost no time in comparison to other Call of Duty games. This game is dull, but it works. Okay. So I go over here, and I have an empty class, just a combat knife. And we are going to put on, let's do the same kind of class actually, to make it more one-to-one. So we're gonna have an LSAT, and we're gonna do a suppressor, and we're going to do, we can't do quick draw, so we'll do extended mags. Okay, we got suppressor, okay, we'll do armor piercing actually. So we got suppressor and armor piercing, and yep, I'm right, that doesn't take anything away from your perk points to be able to put an attachment on. So the game isn't telling you that a suppressor is worth the same as a grenade. A suppressor isn't worth the same as ready up. So now, when we get into launchers, if I was going to use the Panzerfaust, that uses up a slot. So to have a gun, 3 attachments, and a secondary is 2 slots, because the first 2 attachments do not take extra points. Now you can put on classes. Let's see, what was I doing? I was doing Blind Eye, and I think I had like Flak Jacket, and then Cold Blooded, which is
Hang on, I'll be
basically
right back. I gotta go flip some laundry, and then I gotta take a piss.
Fair enough. I'll just keep talking. So
No!
okay, then sit ref instead of engineer, and can't do toughness, unfortunately, and that is part of the problem with this created class system I've mentioned before, is that focus is a crutch. Focus is a crutch, Dead Silence is considered a crutch. I consider Marathon to be my crutch because I hate the, not having unlimited sprint on the larger maps. But I can substitute this for something else that will help my cause. So, thermobarics are great at taking out armor, but, 9bangs have an EMP that stuns electronics. And then I can, of course, pick this stuff, and this doesn't affect anything, and I could also do specialist if I wanted to, I guess. So, the game does not tell you that just having a sight is worth trading the launcher for. I don't have to trade my launcher to have a sight. A weapon costs a point, lethal and tactical costs a point, and the perks have different values depending on how good they are. I think Focus should have been a 1-point perk because of how necessary it is. In fact, I think all of the more need tos, the marathons, the Focus, the Dead Silence, anything that really helps you should be a 1-point perk, and then you kind of tailor your playstyle with the more expensive ones, but that's a whole other conversation. Call of Duty Ghosts does not think that a red dot is just as much has just as much value as an entire launcher. I mean, you could argue that the game sees the P226 as much as the LSAT, but we're getting more complicated there. I'm not saying any of this to prove that Pick 10 is bad and should be removed. I'm pointing out a flaw in Pick 10. And I've never seen it pointed out before, and I think it is actually a flaw. I get that everything having 1-point value is easy to remember, but this is getting really close to perfect here, at least in the concept. If you want a crazy perk that gives you the chance to do more damage, that costs you 5 points. If you want to do more explosive damage, which is also really frustrating for your opponents, is 4 points. You have to trade a lot to do weird shit. If you wanted this kind of a class, this is actually not too bad of a class. But, of course, a secondary is going to take up one of your perk points. So, I don't know. The rest, I think, is up to you guys, what you guys think would be good or bad, but I personally think that Call of Duty would be better off pursuing something more like this system. I don't know. Well, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.